G'day fellas, welcome back to another video where we're going to be taking a look at some of the brand new stuff for the Age of Empires 3 DLC that's going to be coming out imminently. Now, we don't have a date on this, we don't have a timeline, but I can only suspect from them dropping this type of stuff that it is imminent. When I say imminent, that means, you know, whether next week, whether the week after, whether the next week after that, the time frame is going to be incredibly short because they wouldn't be putting this out here right now unless they're trying to hype us, and that's exactly what they're doing. So, the hunt is on. Find all of the pieces on ageofempires.com, put them together and post the final to this thread. Once the challenge is complete, the prize shall be revealed. And within an hour, this was posted back on their Twitter. Now, before we get onto the image, I just want to remind you guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, come check me out, Aussie_Drongo. There we go. All right, so then they posted this. Wow, so fast. Congratulations to all for coming together to solve it so quickly. Continue discussing this beautiful reveal together on the Age of Empires forum. Let's take a look and see exactly what they showed us. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she beautiful? This is what I understand to be the Hausa Homecity. Now, we know it's the Hausa because we can see the icon that they've got over there, or the flag that they've got over on the left-hand side of the screen. We can also see that over on this market-looking building that there is an indent as well. So I'm not sure if it's pronounced Hausa, Hausa, Hausa. I'm not sure exactly. Probably going to get people confused a little bit with the Haudenosaunee or the Houdanese as they love to be called. But some great stuff to talk about in this image. Obviously, we've got, it is the home city. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at the home city 100%. You can see this is where the naval cards are going to be kept. I'm assuming this is the military barracks. Could be a university. Here we've got the Great Mosque of, I think it's called the Great Mosque of Kanu. And then we've got a marketplace over here as well. So all of this stuff is absolutely beautiful. So we'll take a little bit of a closer look and spot exactly what we've got. So if we have a look down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the image. So a couple of interesting things to note. The first thing are these foot arches. So we've got these little foot arches down here. Now, one of the things to note is that these foot arches, they've got a counterpart that stands over here to the right. So I'm not sure whether these guys are veteran, like Fortress Age or Guard Tech, and they've updated their models, or whether these are kind of like the Mansabdar units, where perhaps this guy's the Mansabdar. Wouldn't really make sense because he doesn't look anywhere near as fancy as a Mansabdar should. This guy, however, I mean, check out those pants. This guy, his pants look puffy, but this guy looks like he just came out of that. What was that? I'm trying to think of that song, but I just can't do it. You know, the one where they're dancing, they're shuffling. Anyway, it's curious. So I don't know whether it's going to be a veterancy thing. I suspect it probably is, and they've just used a second player and got them in here, because we have actually seen that in the past with images that they've done. They've had two of the same unit in the same color, and they've had one of them, the models was a veteran and the other one wasn't. So I suspect that's probably what we've seen. Now, in addition to that, a couple of other units in here. So it looks like we've got a healer or an imam that is standing amongst the cavalry here. Now, we've talked about this cavalry before, but we'll come back to that. Another thing I'd like to talk about is this unit down the bottom to the south. Now, this is a drummer unit. Now, I'd be very curious to know a little bit more about this. Obviously, it's got a drum. We can't see any weapon on it whatsoever. So I'm suspecting it's probably going to be an aura boosting unit. So whether that increases the movement speed, because, you know, things like military drummers from the advanced arsenal, it could be that. It could just be an AOE buff to, say, range, rate of fire, attack, HP, any of those statistics that we do commonly see. Sort of like the unction that Spain get with their missionaries. So maybe that's something that we could see. So let's move on. We'll talk a little bit more just about some of the infrastructure that we see here. So this is a real world. This is a real world mosque. So as an example, if we take a look, we can see that the Great Mosque of Kanu is right here. So that is exactly what we'd expect to see, and this is in Nigeria. And then we take a look here is another example of it. So a very, very beautiful, picturesque mosque, and that I can understand exactly why they've put that one in there. So I talked earlier about the heavy cavalry, and once again, the heavy cavalry. So this is back from the initial screenshot that they released. I think, was it on August 10? I want to remember August 10, April 10. I think it was on April 10. This is when this screenshot was released, and there's a few things that are a little bit different. So I guess one of the things to note is here we've got like this light infantry unit or ranged infantry unit, and then this appears to be your archer unit over towards the left, but it kind of looks like a little bit like a villager as well. So I'm not sure whether the civilization's changed much, But one of the things to note is that we do have this cavalry unit. Now, to me, this looks like a heavy cavalry unit. It very much looks like a cuirassier, a sparky, something that is going to be... you can see it's got a lancer, so it's probably something like a cuirassier with, extra attack against infantry, I would expect, because it looks like a heavy cavalry. It looks like, a very heavy boy, and we can see that unit once again down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Well, I've just made that a lot smaller than what I wanted. You can see that it's that same model. It's got that same sort of armor on it. I'm not sure if the hat is the same. Yeah, the hat looks to be the same. So very curious. One of the other things to note is that there's a cow. So typically, my understanding is that there weren't cows in the region that early. So perhaps they were brought over, migrated over by the individuals that are looking to take on Africa. But fellas, I hope that you've enjoyed taking a look at the early stages here of the Hausa civilization. Now, one of the things to note is that the Age of Empires Twitter has actually said that there's going to be more stuff coming up. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're keen to find more stuff out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
I hear the drunk crying in the night. Thought of playing games without his tops. New civilizations.